Welcome to Pigeon Racing World with Winners1. In tonight's program, David Christensen will take you to Europe. As well, in the studio we'll be streaming a live guest. In Brisbane is David Christensen.
G'day Rod, g'day viewers. Earlier this year, Johnny Debron, Cat and his father Billy from Sydney, Tim Fairfax from the Central Coast and myself all travelled to Europe visiting the likes of Kurt Platiu, Tom Van Gaver, Freddie and Jacques Van der Heide, Mark de Kock, Bart Garrix, Patrick Bowox, Martin Poles, Davey Turnell, Marcel Sangers. We also visited the Hooton Spring Fair, Pigeon Paradise, or as we know it, PIPA, and the young bird specialist, Jelle Roziers. Incidentally, we flew out of Holland the day before the first confirmed case of coronavirus in the country. PIPA is recognised globally as the #1 broker of racing pigeons. PIPA was founded in 2000 by Nicholas Gasselbright as a hobby project where information was collected about everything related to pigeons. PIPA stands for Pigeon Paradise, the original name of the website. Nowadays everyone refers to Pigeon, P-I, Paradise, P-A, PIPA, by the abbreviation.
In the first part of the program, we feature PIPA, the largest pigeon auction company in the world.
The new Freddy, he was very famous still, but he's not fertile anymore. But he's really the start of the bloodline of the Porsche. So the grandparents we still have here, they're still fertile, 11 and 12, so they're okay, but still okay. These ones, the father and mother of Porsche, we don't sell any young birds anymore. There are Chinese people who will give the strangest amount, from 50,000 to 100,000 euro for it. And I think, come on, and Nicholas says, no, we're going to keep them all for breeding loft. And if you're interested, you can have the next generation out of them. And in the beginning I worked here was 10,000 for a baby of the Porsche. And there were Chinese guys ordered 4 or 5 babies, like it's nothing. Can you see these? We normally make a few And that's nice, you can breed out of those lines the Porsche against her because they're no family. And then otherwise you already have
En de Porsche, Prince Porsche.
So we're very successful, and also other people with the combination of these two lines. You breed out of them, you start crossing them, you sell a few, and they get older, so they're not fertile anymore. And then, but now the Porsche is moving with us.
So that is, was it the Tom Van Gaver pigeon supply one that went through the Freddy line?
Also, but I don't know exactly all the pedigrees out of that because this is one colleague, he's taking care of this. I'm more of that, so I know quite a lot about it, but all the pedigrees and everything are not in my computer here. Because they're all, as you see here, are many family bloodlines of the Porsche now.
Yes.
So of the father and mother, of the uncles of the Porsche, even of the children. We have many children of them that we don't stand more rain and rain. We're going to go inside there. So we're going to explain it very quickly.
Hey boys.
These lofts are all the same. And these are all full with pigeons who are already sold on the website.
Okay, so they're not necessarily...
This is from Carlo, this is the long distance.
Okay.
But these are already waiting for shipment. Have a quick look, it's just to see.
So it won't be Australia.
Every loft has a number.
Yes.
So they know exactly on the computer E1, which pigeon is on E1, to which country is he sold to, is he already paid, how many pigeons did the guy bought in total, so maybe we have to wait for a few weeks to get them together on the plane. So that's the thing we do, we have a plane with 200 pigeons, for example, to Taiwan, or 200 to Canada, and then we ship them all together.
So
that's why it takes sometimes 2 months before we have...
So for Australia it's far longer, we have to get to England for 6 months.
Because we do all the vaccinations here, and
Yeah.
6 months they can get a vaccination because of the diseases. And now we have the Rota virus. It wasn't here 5 years ago, and it started maybe with one loft races, but young birds can die in 2 or 3 days, and then you can have 10 dead, and so we can't afford it here at PIPA to have many dead pigeons. So there are like 5,000 or 6,000 pigeons sometimes in some periods, and then we have maybe sometimes one dies, so that's not bad at all, but we rather have a zero tolerance. Zero.
So you said you had the rotavirus here.
Yeah.
You have it here.
Yeah, we have it already here in Europe now, and some of them say it comes from South Africa, some of them say from Australia maybe, but it was there longer than here. I don't know how it was 10 years ago, but we had adeno and coli and circovirus, but from adeno they get sick, but they not always die. And with the rota in it, so they have adeno and 2 days later they get the rota on top of it, they die. So now we have the vaccination for it, and we see there are no young birds dying anymore in 2019, 2020 so far.
So you have a rota vaccine?
Yeah, we have a vaccine here, but it's not all over Europe. It's in Holland, it's in Belgium, but it's also not easy to get. You need it from a veterinary who comes to your loft. So, you see all the numbers on the lofts? So our job is cleaning the lofts, make sure the pigeons stay healthy, they don't get sick. We clean it, we give fresh water and drink, and that's our job here at PIPA. Could be a pigeon of 500 euro, could be a pigeon of 10,000 euro, I don't want to know, because for me it's just important to keep them healthy. But for some people it's 500 euro a lot of money, of course, for me as well. But for some Chinese, when you're a multi-millionaire, you don't give a shit about 100,000 and you buy a pigeon. So, but we want to make sure that every customer at PIPA is a happy man. I think that's normal. So my colleague took care of this morning, and maybe in the afternoon when he has some spare time, he's going to clean some lofts. But then you have to know there's a loft, there's a loft, there's a loft, so many cleaning to do. We work here almost 7 days a week, but we're in shifts, so I'm always the Saturday at home. Some other colleagues are at Sunday at home, but Sunday morning, for many people that's a holy day because you have your family, your children are at home, no school. But I am at PIPA to do my job, so. But it's my hobby because I have pigeons at home. So before I come to PIPA, I have to clean my loft, I have to train my pigeons, get them okay. When I come home, I said to my wife, before we're doing something else, I have to do my pigeons first, and then we can go somewhere. So it's not easy. It's not easy with pigeons.
How long is that working?
I have to 20 minutes drive to my home, so that's easy. 20 minutes, no traffic jam at all.
You work 8 hours
And
here?
I work 8 hours, 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
So, but I'm from Holland, so the borders are very close. I'm a Dutchman, so I only live 20 minutes, but the border of Holland is only 15 minutes from here.
Yeah.
But then you're really in the south part near the coastline,
Okay.
because it's also close in Europe for Australian measures.
Do you know the breeding of these pigeons in here?
Not at all, no. There are Dutch pigeons in here, the long distance ones, the sprint ones. It could be from Jelle Roziers, could be from Gaston from the Wauer, could be a very good German one, because they're all coming together on a separate days, and we don't put loft per loft, we all put them together. That's also a dangerous thing, because they come from different climates, all in one climate. So that's why we need to do the vaccinations first, to give them a warm tablet, to give them a lice drip. We have to check the mast the first day that they're arriving, that they don't have bad droppings. And then they can all come together. And then you see the strong pigeons don't have anything at all, and the weakest ones, they get sick after 2 days sometimes. And it's not always adeno, but it's just the stress that they come in a new loft, they come in contact with other pigeons, they drink from the same drinking bin, and then you see sometimes the really fanatic fanciers. In Holland there's a few fanatic ones, they're really cleaning, and that's positive, because they're so into their pigeons, they clean it 2 times a day, they're so over clean. As soon as they come here, we're also clean, but different. And then you see those pigeons get stuck and they get sick, and I think, what's happening now? And then you call them and say, yeah, but I clean it 2 times a day and you can eat off the floor with us. But I say, yeah, but a pigeon needs needs a little bit of a strong immune system because when he's into a race from 400 kilometers, he gets so many things. And then you see those pigeons get quite often sick. They don't die, but they have to get over it.
Do you give them anything to get over it?
Yeah, you need to give some medication, and every week there's a veterinary come to PIPA to check all the pigeons. Very quickly, but he checks all the droppings.
And while the birds are all healthy, do you give them anything in the water?
We give some vitamins. We have so many things. You see here ProBuck and the Wonder Pigeon now. It's already 2-3 years. That's an Italian product, but this is also good in racing, but it's good for the whole stomach and everything. Wonder Pigeon, I think it's already in Australia as well. ProBuck is already years on the market. It's also good for the ProBuck. It's from the German program. This is the product we have to give for the paratyphus. Enroshort is like Bitril, how you say it? That's Enroshort. We have to give that when they're new arriving here. So when I put this on, I know there are new pigeons.
So is that goes in their drinking water or
drinking water? No, the drinking water. They have to drink it 10 days. But you see the drinking nipple system? That's already now, but it's now with the drinking bin. It's not on now, so they can't get the water. But as soon as they're finished with the 10 days of the cure, they have to drink from the nipple system, and that's all the lofts of PIPA.
Do they learn?
So
you don't have any problems
many people ask it, but it's like a sheep, I say. They follow each other. They follow and they see, and as soon as they're thirsty, and I can see if a pigeon didn't drink for 2 days, you can see it.
Its eyes, isn't it?
So, only the ones with the big noses, they have sometimes difficulties to find the right spot. We go that way. We have another look. So like I said, at this moment I think more than 3,000 pigeons are now at PIPA, maybe 4,000. So,
David will be back with more PIPA after this short break.
The Australian Racing Pigeon Journal has been an interesting educational read since 1993 and still a significant way to keep abreast of the sport of pigeon racing. In each exciting monthly magazine, editor Jeff Howe brings together Australian and international articles. Join pigeon fanciers throughout the world who subscribe and enjoy the Australian Racing Pigeon Journal. Loft visits, training tips, pigeon strains, as well as health advice from world-renowned avian veterinarians are regular topics featured in this great read. There is nothing better than keeping a quality magazine on the shelf to read anytime.
This is for the wind, especially for the wind and the rain. So it's an open loft apartment, so the pigeons are summer and winter time always on the open air, but when it's raining a lot or a colder period, we close this one, and it's for 65% closed. So if you get your hand behind it, you feel the difference. Here is wind, there's nothing, or a little bit. But have a look. So don't mind the dirt because we're still working here, and I try to clean it every day, but it's not always happening. A few months ago we also had a very big group of Australians. I think there were almost 20 guys. Australians also, but I have no idea. Also Adelaide, also Melbourne, and then Colombians, and then from Algeria, and sometimes war in Iraq from Baghdad. They raise with pigeons in Baghdad. You think, how is that possible? But you always see the bad things on the news, they said, but when you come to Baghdad, it's safe. There's a marketplace, there are shops open, but I say no, I'd rather stay home. Here they also have the nipple system, because the pigeons are longer here. Some of them are here 6 weeks now. So you see the shape of them, it's a little bit normal with the weather like this. So it's not that they're sick. We can walk, we can pass the loft there on that side. Just go this way. When there's a sick one, we have to put him in quarantine. That's why we put the little boxes here. You can see the droppings. So we open this up and you can see how the nest is. So maybe there's one down here, this one, but he was stuck somewhere. I don't know what happened, but he was stuck with his wing. No, not by a predator, but he was stuck somewhere, and then we had to put him for 2 days. Sorry. These are the oldest loft of PIPA. These are here from 2004, I think. So this was here before I worked here, and this was the small transit loft. So there was place for 250, 300 birds in that period.
So that was the race loft.
No, it was not a race loft. No, the race loft was that way. So my colleague took care of this, and I took care of the racing loft. And now we put all smaller lofts of it. We changed the lofts a little bit, so we have place for 25 pigeons here, 25 here, but now it's empty here. Okay, we have to flame it. How you say it?
Yes.
Burn it, yeah, to kill all the bacteria or whatever, and then we have place for new loft. So if they look now in the computer, they know D8 is empty. There are no pigeons, but tomorrow could be 25 in there from a Romanian guy, for example. Then they know exactly D8, D9. Maybe they call me in 10 minutes and say, Frederick, there's somebody from Germany picking up 2 pigeons. They're in D10. And they're white feathering. They have a orange color back because we give extra rings on them to find them quickly. And in 1 minute time, I can find the pigeon. Because when there are 3,000 pigeons, it would be crazy. And many people say, how can you find the pigeon so quickly? Well, like C8, you have to find a blue one in here. There are many blue ones. But they all have extra rings on there. But you see, they're healthy. They have to drink from the nipple system. They eat a lot. It's like a hotel, I always say. It's like the Holiday Inn for pigeons. And I have no idea if it's a sprint pigeon, if it's a very good pedigree, like I said. Could be 10,000 euro, could be 500 euro. And for me, it's not important. In the beginning, I was always curious. Which one is this and which one is that? And looking on the computer, but you don't have time for it.
Yeah, now there's too many.
There are too many pigeons in here. Sometimes I have a pigeon in my head that I think, whoa, this is
nice.
wow. But I always have pigeons that I think, oh, I wouldn't even give 25 euro. And then you look on the pedigree and you think, 20,000 euro for this one? Oh. But the people are happy because it's good pedigree, good bloodline, and it's maybe a young pigeon that can change. If you handle him 1 year later, you have a very nice pigeon. Some of them are not so beautiful. So, but I learned it also. Not always the beautiful ones are the best. Sometimes an ugly pigeon could be your best of your loft, and he gets more beautiful every time you handle him. You think, wow, this is my best one. We can't make them too fat, so we have to be careful that they don't get too big. You could show some pigeons. Because that's the thing, they're resting here, the pigeons. So if you feed them and they're all sitting all day, you make a...
So is that why the mix got a lot of barley in it?
Yeah, barley as well. That's good. Not the big maize, not the big beans. Corn. Not too big. Not the maize, I say corn, of course. It's a European maize. Corn. All the pigeons are sold. These are the hens on this side, and we make the cocks on the other side so they don't pair up too much. So it could be that today this loft is empty. It happens so often. They had an email, Frederick, this afternoon, somebody from Taiwan is like a courier, is picking them up. They go on the plane to Brussels. So you have to pick up 20 pigeons from this loft. The loft is empty. We can burn it again, clean it, make ready for the next one. So first in, first out, but it's not always happening like that because we have Chinese, they wait so long for paying, and then you think, why don't you? Yeah, I'm gonna pay next month. But why? Because I'm gonna pay some other ones. I'm gonna buy some other ones because I know I saw on the website there's gonna be a big auction of Jelle, for example. So I want to buy 4 Jelle pigeons, so I'm gonna wait another month, and then I'm gonna pay them all, and then they make 100,000 euro crazy money in one time, and then you think, what? They work like that, but we have to have the patience because the pigeons are waiting here for shipment. And the longer they're here, they can't breed out of them. I'm always, when I buy something, I want to have it immediately. When I buy a pigeon or whatever it is, I want to have it in my loft. I don't want to leave them at PIPA for 3 months, but not all the people work like that.
In Australia.
Early March saw the 25th running of the annual Spring Fair Hooton. We call it a Pigeon Expo or Pigeon Convention. This fair has become one of the most appealing and most enjoyable pigeon events across the globe, up there with Blackpool in the UK. The Spring Fair has a regular group of exhibitors, including all the large companies, many choosing to launch new products or offer significant fare discounts. The exhibition halls welcomed approximately 10,000 paying visitors, and we saw a number of exhibitors selling out of pigeons early on the Saturday morning. Of course, the Spring Fair has a wide range of nutritional supplements, medical supplies, various race and breeding mixes, loft supplies, and even transporters. Therefore, many visitors use this fair just to look at the latest trends because everything is here. Another trend of recent years is the increasing number of exhibitors who represent one loft races. There were well over 10 different stands for one loft races. There was a very positive atmosphere around the event, with a buzz in and around the exhibition halls, with most visitors spending hours talking all things pigeons, and people were still queuing late in the afternoon Saturday. And then suddenly, who do you run into? Old friends, and of course an Aussie or two. The Netherlands can look back on another successful exhibition weekend.
Jelle Roziers interview and loft visit will be back after the short break.
Yeah, g'day guys, Richard Clement from the NCF Federation in Newcastle. Flying partnership with my father Malcolm up here, and just wanted to comment today on a product that we've been using over the last couple of seasons called Protein Plus, which we sourced from Winners1 in Victoria. Protein Plus is a product that we started using in our stock loft as a trial product a couple of years ago. We were interested in how we could ensure that when our youngsters had those last few days in the nest before they went into the race loft, and as they went into the race loft didn't lose any body and condition. And we found that the product was particularly helpful with that, and we were very happy with our first trials. We used it then a little bit more in the stock loft and found that over time our pigeons, particularly as they went into the third and fourth round of breeding, weren't losing body and were still in really good condition at the end of the breeding season. So that was really a positive for us in the first year. Last year we used it in the race loft for the first time. We found it to be a really good product to help put condition back onto the birds and to help the birds build back up a little bit quicker than what they probably previously would have, without having to change their feed base too much, particularly early in the week. We've had a pretty successful couple of years up here, winning multiple club and combine and federation averages, and last year particularly was a record-breaking year for us, and we put some of that success down to the fact that we've been able to use this product consistently now, and we'd have no hesitation in recommending it for other flyers who want to try and aid that recovery period, particularly after a hard race or a hard toss.
Right, as mentioned, when in Belgium, we dropped in to see our good mate Jelle Roziers. I'd like to welcome him to the program. G'day, Jelle.
Hi, David. I had a great time with you guys visiting my loft and my house, and I enjoyed the time you stayed over here with the guys, and I look forward to see you guys again. And hi, Rod. How are you doing? I'm also looking forward to see you again.
Hi Jelle, it's been always great to see you when you're in Australia. What age did you get involved with Pigeon Jelle and your relationship with the Huben family?
I was about 12 years. In 1995 I had my first pigeon loft, 2 meter by 2 meter, that's it, very small pigeon loft. But before, let's say 2-3 years before I had my own loft, I was helping my grandfather, just cleaning some lofts or helping with the pigeons and calling the birds in when they came home from the race and things like that. Now our relationship to the Hubens, my grandmother on father's side, she was a niece of the wife of Jeff Huben. So the mother of my grandmother, they were with 14 children, and the mother of Jeff's wife, Evelyn, was a sister of my grandmother, her mother. And on that side also, on my grandmother, her mother side, we had several pigeon guys also, and also cousins and uncles from my grandmother were flying pigeons. And yeah, then Evelyn married Jeff Huben, and then yeah, that way we are related to the Hubens. One of the first time I came over there was when I was maybe 13, 14 years, something like that, with my grandfather. And I got a pair of birds of Jeff, and that's the start of my relationship with them. So I went more and more to their place. Yeah, they were flying incredible good. They were yeah, one of the best in the area and even in Belgium. And Jeff was also a lovely guy to talk with. He was always laughing. He never talked a lot about his own birds, but it didn't matter who came into the house. He always was asking if that guy was just an average flyer or a top flyer. He always, Jeff was asking, how are you doing? How is your team doing in the races or whatever? Always asking the other guy, how are you doing with your birds? Never talked about himself. If he was talking about himself, it was about girls or having fun when he was young, or he was talking about football or soccer or bicycle races, but not a lot over his own birds, not a lot. But yeah, if you ask him questions, then he start talking, of course, because he was really a lovely guy to sit with him and to have a chat, and yeah, was, if you think about that time, I told Luguben the other day also, people like him, like my friend Tony Malucci in the States, or my grandfather, they were a different kind of people. They were not bragging about their own birds. If they were flying like shit, they said the bird sucks. So they were not looking for excuses or anything, and you always could laugh with those guys and have a lot of fun. And yeah, then more and more I came at the Hubens. I was helping. All of a sudden we win first national with Queen L, and then the co-breeding was starting, and then the ball was rolling for us. I remember Jeff was calling me to come over with Queen L, and I will never forget this. He said to me, Jelle, go upstairs to grab Pinocchio out of his box. I came down with Pinocchio. We went to another loft. He was handling Queen L. He took a nest ball, he put it in a box. He said to me, put him with in the box, Pinocchio, and he put Queen L with her, and I asked him, what are we doing now? Now we're gonna co-breed, and we're gonna split the babies, and now you're gonna start to be a real pigeon guy. Okay, this is a start for you, son. Now you're gonna be a real pigeon guy, believe me. And we had 4 babies out of that mating, and they had 4 babies, and 3 out of 4 for us, they bred birds in the top 10 national and top 100 national, and they are still in the basic of the birds that we have today. So that was for us really the game changer, and everything started at that level. That family did a lot for me, and I will never forget what they did for me, and that's also why you don't find people like that a lot anymore. It was not about the money all the time, it was about friendship. You saw also how many people came over there, and Jeff was always helping also. And of course also Luke and Nadia, but most people came for Jeff because you could have a lot of fun with him also. He was always talking about things and telling stories. It was a lot of fun, I told my wife the other day also, often I think about those days, and you miss those days also, because it was the start of everything, and it was a lot of fun. And sometimes you see that's gone in the pigeon sport, especially now when it's more about selling birds, commercial. You see more and more. It's people are getting more jealous or whatever. I don't know. I don't care, because I only pay attention to my love, what I'm doing, to my family of birds. But Jeff told me in the past, if you fly good and you are lucky to get on a high level, you will see how many friends you will have, and that he warned me about it. But he was a really clever guy also, and it cannot be that he was a stupid guy, because otherwise he wouldn't make it that high on a high level in the pigeon sport. Also, he was really a guy you will never forget if you met him. And that's my relationship to the Rubens, and now we even the wife of Luke is godmother of one of our sons, and they are still visiting us every week. We see each other. Luke is coming over when the birds are coming home from on race day, or do I need a hand? He will help me. We are still having a good relationship with each other, and that's make good for me and for him also. And we still enjoy the pigeon sport here in at our place. And for Luke, it's also still a lot of fun, because still he sees his own bloodline showing up in the birds that are doing good over here. So we enjoy still here the sport, and I cannot thank the Huben family enough. What they did for me, and I will never forget what they did for me. So they will always be people that in my heart that did really good for me. They changed my life also. I can say it like that,
Come here.
A walk on the joints?
Oh yeah?
I don't want to bust your floor.
Strong enough.
Here I fly my young hens. Just on feedback. During summer they are most of the time outside in the aviary. This is a section for my droppers. But they are in the breeding section now. I want to get some babies out of them, so I'm safe again for the next 5-10
just
years.
for the droppers, did you say?
Yeah, droppers,
So on the floor there, do you normally have corn cobs, or you have
I have corn cobs, but I'm going to do the chips this year.
So what sort of wood?
Wood and chips,
Yeah, but what sort of wood? Is it
I don't know.
hardwood, willow, just chips?
They are from Poland. A friend of me in Poland, he sells them, and I told him, bring me a bunch. And
The same ones in the cock section, or different?
the same. cockbirds will stay here on this side. And now the first round is here. The second round I win over there. As soon as I see cocks chasing hens, I separate sexes. Cocks here, hens on that side, and they stay separated all the time. Road training separated, offline separated, only on race day when they come home they see each other. But they start the body mold now, the young birds. They're gonna have about 100 on this side and 100 on the other side. So you see, nothing special thing, easy. Here, this is just to vacuum. Easy. They are with mice poison, so I can check easy. They drink all summer from this, because in a basket they use the same blue drinking fountains. And they now start a lot of feathers in the morning. We use the lighting in the breeding section, and then here they go right away in a dark system. And then they start them. After 10-14 days, I'll sign on a paper, you have feathers. But don't give them more as 14-15 hours of daylight in the breeding section. Maximum 15, otherwise you wean and you put them in the dark, they will even still drop flights. And that you don't want to have that. Of course, now still maybe sometimes 1 or 2 can drop a flight or 2, but if you keep them 15 hours and less, 14 is even better. Then you don't have any flights dropping in the beginning of the year.
And over here, just natural light.
Always open. Now this is closed, the door in the middle, because I keep those 2 groups separated. Why? It's easier to control a smaller group to learn when you call them in. But now they know already, this week I will go on with it, and next week the groups are together and the door is always open. So you feel draft, I don't care. And it's always like that. Then once a week they get a bath, and then I clean the things under the grills. I clean it out. And then let's say next month I put the wooden chips here on the floor. So I'm sure all the birds are more on the perches, so that they don't make it that dirty anymore.
You guys provide hens and cocks?
Yeah, that's all separate. Yeah. Otherwise, Johnny, you will lose somewhere. You have to fly everything. Because you need good cockbirds later on in a breeding loft and good hens too.
That's right.
Get the minerals first in the morning, as much feed as they want, minerals and the wild seeds. And in the evening again, as much as they want.
So they got this all the time, are they?
Yeah, during the day.
Twee stellen eigenlijk uit de jaren 80 met elkaar en daarvoor.
When they are body molting. When they finish the body mold, I stop this.
Maandag.
Those are 85 of my own. And 20 of a Chinese guy who has his breeding loft in Belgium. But they look good. You see, it's all those national lake birds you saw upstairs on the national winner, just on perches like this for the feed purpose. Nothing special. We chase the birds in the aviary, I crate the birds, I take a shower and I go to the club. And that's it. The young birds.
So it's basically 50 perches for 50 birds.
Yeah.
Almost exactly the number of perches for birds,
But later on, less birds, and then you see, like the widow, the yearling cockbirds, they from one to the other, they like it there. The Bush National, he was jumping 3 of them, all the time.
He owned all 3.
But he likes it,
Yeah.
This is a question we wanted to ask Eddie, but we forgot. See, when the young birds at that age, they have the marks in the flights. What do you think of that?
Too much antibiotic.
Yeah. That's one of my pigeons.
Can be, and also
I haven't used antibiotics on my ones. Is that like a something?
a parasite. It can be also.
Okay.
So it could be a protein deficiency or...
No, I don't think so.
But when they molt, it's gone. You never see it again.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't come up. It's only when they're young, and it's only most of the time them 2 feathers. That's a real bad one. Normally they don't have that many. Maybe like 2 marks or 3 marks. That one quite had a lot.
You use protein powder and.
I do, yeah. But when you handle the pigeon, it feels like nothing wrong with it. It's strong, beautiful. Like I still got it now, molted. The flights are fine. Yeah.
But when you have people that use a lot of medicine, you see also marks in the flights.
Oh yeah, prep marks and that, yeah.
So the hens sit out the front in the aviaries, and
during the day.
And the cocks in the. Oh, they can have their own sections, yeah. But the hens sit out the front, but then they're let back in later on. Whereas the cocks have the whole lot.
The loft, they use the whole loft.
Can you tell us about your breeding and queenelle?
Our bloodline is mainly based on our basic hen Queenelle when she won first national La Souterraine. That's a liberation station in France. That's for us about 600 kilometers, and she was first national. She was also fastest of old birds and young birds that were released together over there against almost 19-something thousand birds. And that hen made it to several cockbirds of the Hoopen family, was the start of everything in our pigeon career, and even till the day of today, that's the basic, mostly the basic of our birds that are we racing now. I'm also maybe a little bit lucky that that bloodline is also easy to breed with, because you see, generation after generation, it's producing us good birds, and not only for us but also for other people. The thing what I paid a lot of attention at the Hoobens also to their breeding strategy, and that's what the son Luc Hooben also told me several times: keep the family together, like we say. So always line breeding back to that Queenelle or to that basic Hooben Queenelle. And then we outcross again. But like this year also we saw several birds over here as yearling or young birds that were even line bred to Queenelle and that were performing good also. And also the outcrosses, so only Queenelle on one side with a totally different family. What I saw at the Hoopens also, that many different families were producing good when they put it with their young artist bloodline, and here I see the same. So I had in the last, let's say 10-15 years almost, several pigeons out of totally different outcrosses, but always back to that Queenelle, at least on one side, that were performing for us. And that's, I think, for me a more easy part. Like I told you, it's easy to work with that bloodline if you're lucky like that. And yeah, I hope in the future it will keep go on. That's the only thing I have to do, is paying attention to that bloodline and don't lose that Queenelle Hooben basic. And it's up to me to keep my eyes open and to stay on the highest level. It's not easy, of course, but I think if I just keep my feet on the ground with this bloodline I have in my pigeons, I think we are safe for several years, I think.
The Australian Racing Pigeon Journal has been an interesting educational read since 1993, and still a significant way to keep abreast of the sport of pigeon racing. In each exciting monthly magazine, Editor Jeff Howe brings together Australian and international articles. Join pigeon fanciers throughout the world who subscribe and enjoy the Australian Racing Pigeon Journal. Loft visits, training tips, pigeon strains, as well as health advice from world-renowned avian veterinarians are regular topics featured in this great read. There is nothing better than keeping a quality magazine on the shelf to read anytime.
I notice your breeding loft, Jelle, is in one large shed. What is the benefits of that?
Our breeders, they are all in individual sections, so one pair has his own section. We have a big greenhouse here in the yard. The roof was also from glass in the beginning, so we changed the roof with some panels that are insulated. Because in the beginning, when it was 30 degrees outside Celsius, we had 50 and more degrees Celsius in the greenhouse. But now with the new panels on the roof, it's the same temperature as outside. We have enough ventilation over there, and then the ventilation, I have big gates that I open, and then on the end of the building, some windows that I can open totally or just a little bit, or I can play with them. In summer it's open, all open, and then in winter they are just a little bit open. But it's easy in that greenhouse. It's always dry. And now we have a good ventilation also. I have automatic ventilation on the roof. I have 50 individuals, like I told you before, in that greenhouse, and we have 7 aviaries. And the 50 individuals, those are our 50 breeding pairs that we keep also. In the beginning, I had in some aviaries some nest boxes, so I had, let's say, 8 pairs in an aviary, and another aviary, another 8 pairs, but I cut the number down 2 years ago, and this year also. So I'm now, last winter I only bred in 50 individuals, that's it. Those boxes in those aviaries I took away, and next winter I do again the 50 individuals, and that's the number I will stick on in the future. Of course, when you have a big building and you can build a lot of aviaries, you can keep a lot of pigeons also, but I decided 2 years ago, or last year, let's say last winter, that I would cut the number down, and I saw right away this year the race team and of young birds was improving again, and we saw immediately results of cutting the number down. I told Luc Huben the other day, I cut the number down last winter, and I see it looked like we have more good birds now, but and less work. And also in those greenhouse, the individuals, they're all on grills. The aviaries also, we clean it once a month. I do it with the oldest son. He's almost 14. Then we spend 2 hours in that greenhouse, a trailer in that greenhouse. We clean the individuals and the aviary, and then up 1 month later we do it again. And it's easy, and it's good, and it's working for us. So I have more and more birds with our bloodline going around, like North America, Mexico, Europe, Asia. Now in Australia we had some in the past, and what I do most of the times when I sell birds now, it's most of the times always line breeding to that Queenelle, and then people will outcross again with their own stuff, and I recommend it also. And yeah, we have what I see the last few years. I get more and more good results from other people out of Belgium. That tell me my birds are are doing good. And for me, the most important in the past was, what I always said to myself, you don't have to buy 50 to have success with one bird or something from me, or two. No, I try to get the number of birds low that I sell, and a high percentage that will succeed at the fancier. And if you can do something like that, then you know the family will go on better and better. And yeah, maybe I'm lucky, I don't know, maybe I'm working in a good direction, but yeah, I see more and more good results coming in. In the beginning, when we flew only young birds in Belgium, then you get the stamp on your head of young birds, only young birds, nothing good with old birds, so they don't have good birds, that's what they say. But now the last 3-4 years, you see even people in Belgium, they try to get some birds, or before we had a few, but then they had some good results also right away. And you see now more and more are showing up and asking for pigeons or eggs or whatever. And I think, just do what I have to do and stay on this track, and then we will keep on having success, I think. And if I keep doing good and people get birds of our birds, then they have more chance to have success also, I think, with our bloodline.
What is your relationship with PIPA?
Yeah, I'm together with PIPA now from 2007. Then they came to my place and they asked me to sign a contract with them, and I did it right away. And in all those years, and you have people that are talking bad about PIPA, you have people that talk good about PIPA. My opinion, what I can say, my experience with them, in all those years, I never had trouble. I always had a good business with them, and I can't say anything about them also. And they do an incredible good job for me, and that I think for other people also. But yeah, you always will have people that are not satisfied about anything. If you go to the doctor and you have 20 people that go to that doctor, yeah, maybe 3 out of 20 they say it's not a good doctor, and those 17 others they say it's a good doctor. So, but for me, PIPA is online the number one, no question about it. They have a big team behind PIPA, so the PIPA team is incredible, strong and good. A lot of young people involved. I see also we have a group like Bart Gerrings, Davy Tournell, Tom Van Gaver, myself, some other people, Adrian Mirabel, a young guy from the French part in Belgium. We are all born between 80 and 90, so one young generation. We have an incredible good team also, a good friendship with each other, helping each other. And yeah, we all have a good relationship with PIPA also.
PIPA and yourself are going to have an auction in Sydney. Can you give us more details about that?
Normally we would have an auction at the end of November in Sydney. We sent some birds, each of us around 8 pigeons, I think. Me, Nicholas from PIPA, David Tournell, Bart Gerrings and Tom Van Gaver. So the 5 of us, we have around 40 birds that will be now in Melbourne in quarantine. And yeah, now because of the COVID-19, we have to pick another date, and probably it will be somewhere next year. My feeling, I think, says that we will do it maybe next year, October, November somewhere, but we will have to discuss that, and that's what I'm thinking, but we have to talk to the guys. I think it's a good opportunity for us and for the people in Australia to get some birds for us in an easier way, because yeah, they did the track already, the quarantine in the UK, the 6 months, and the quarantine in Melbourne. Maybe it's also good that the birds have to stay one more year in Australia, so they adapt to the environment and the climate and whatever. They can have a good body mold, and I think it's for the pigeons and for the fancier also good. The birds are all born in 2019. They are almost all of the same age. That's what I talked to the guys. We decided to pair up our breeders the same time. We don't gonna talk about 14 days different, but almost the same time. So the same, the group are the same age almost, born in 2019. So if they are 2 years, I think it's even better. Next year, 2021, then they will be 2 years. They did all the quarantine and transport and whatever. And I think that's even better for the pigeons and the fanciers to breed out of those birds also. So I hope and I look forward to come over next year, and I hope that COVID-19 thing will go away faster than we think, so we can travel again and we can do the auction. And I look forward to do it, and I hope we will have a huge success. But the birds that I saw when they picked up the pigeons over here, my own birds, of course, you can say you never talk bad about your own children, but I think we send a high quality of birds. The other guys also, down from their best bloodlines. So, yeah.
Thanks, Jelle. Look forward to catching up with you and the boys in Sydney for the PIPA auction. If you have not already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the little bell. Get videos like this one for the next 12 weeks.
Thanks, Jelle, for coming on Pigeon Racing World with Winners1.
All right, guys. It was nice to have a chat with you, and I wish you all the best in the future, and stay healthy. And I look forward to see you again. And thank you to have me on camera now. So good luck, guys. See you next time.
Good night, David. You've been watching Pigeon Racing World with Winners1.
We'll finish the show with some images from in and around Europe. Good night, Rod. Good night, viewers.